morning. It's only 7:19 or so a.m. I just left work and God put a topic on my heart to discuss in general. So this is going to be a talk. It's not going to be about tarot. It's a talk this morning. I tried filming it, but my alarm stopped the filming, so I decided to go live. This is Victoria Violet, Gypsy Roots Tarot Travel, and again, the topic is on help. I always like to inject realism into my conversational topics, and so today is no different, so bear with me. So I had God impress upon me last night to help someone, and God told me that person is suffering and that person is going through certain things and that they needed someone to, if nothing else, just be there to listen, to be a sounding board to them. When I reached out to this person, they told me they're great, that they're doing fine, and I did leave the offer on the table, but really, what can you do when God impresses upon you to help someone, to reach out to someone to make sure they're okay, and they tell you they're fine, and they reject your help? There's really nothing you can do. And I'm being honest, brutally honest, I know, but I am being honest. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do. And as a matter of fact, unless they ever reach out to you on their own, your job is done. So long as you did what God asked you to do, your job is done. So I wanted to go into some of the reasons that we reject HELP. And I'm going to tell you that I'm injecting myself here. I'm interjecting myself here in this topic because I've been there. And I'm not sure if this person did the same thing for the same reasons, but I can tell you I've been there. So up until around my 54th birthday, I wouldn't accept help. I would never accept help from anyone. I was somewhat filled with pride, but it wasn't like pride of my ego being egotistical. It was more like it was a downfall. I wouldn't accept help because once I started working with the general public, which was over 30 years ago, people come to me for help, whether that was money, diapers, rent, electricity, to pay utilities, whatever, gas money, milk for the baby. So I felt very strange offering this constantly, and then when I would need something, I felt very awkward in being the person that had to accept help. So because of that, hi guys, we're having a discussion in lieu of tarot today, and it's in reference to help. And so it made for a very strange bedfellow. I couldn't bring myself to accept help. So that might be why the person that I was talking about earlier, refusing my help. Or it might just be because some people don't think they need help. They really, truly, and honestly do not see anything wrong with their life or how they're living their life, or the fact that it could be so much easier if they just accepted help. And that's what we're going to talk about, okay? And again, the whole premise is when God puts it on your heart to help someone, to reach out to someone, to offer your help, whether it's prayer, whether it's just well wishes, whether it's there to listen to them, and they reject your help, there's really nothing more that can be done unless you leave it on the table, which I did. And if they ever reach out to you and say, okay, you know, I changed my mind, I would like to talk, then you can start the healing process. You can start assisting them. You can start helping them. But if you offer and they reject it, then God wants you to know that He is grateful that you did follow through with what it was that was being asked of you, but your job is done. And it can feel awkward on both sides. It can feel awkward to them, the person that you're offering to help to, because again, if they don't feel like they need help because in their opinion their life is great, even if it's falling apart, they're not going to accept the help. On the other hand, you having to reach out and say, hey, I'm here to help, may feel awkward to you too, because you're following through with what God has impressed upon your heart to do. Okay? So either ways, everyone, can at some point feel a little bit, I don't know, shy, awkward, right?
In 2 miles, keep right toward Manchester.
So we're going to continue with what happens when it's you. When it's you that needs the help. And you're the one that's being approached by a kind person that would just really like to see you have an easier time of life instead of constantly suffering and constantly battling just to be, I used to call it, I'm fighting to fight another day. I'm fighting just to be able to fight another day. And so that's survival mode. But you're in survival mode and you've been there so long, and you have this bubble of pride upon you, and you just can't seem to lower that pride because you're embarrassed and you feel awkward because people are offering this. And what if somebody finds out, or what if somebody hears about you needing help? All these crazy things run through our minds. And I say crazy because really the God's honest truth is, who cares if somebody finds out that you need help? Who cares if somebody finds out that such and such, reached out and offered you a hand out or a hand up?
Use the right to
Who cares?
right toward Manchester Airport.
But the problem is we do care. We care way too much for our own good. So what can happen to us when we're the people, when we're the ones that do not want to accept the help? Well, I can tell you that when I was much younger, I most definitely never wanted to accept help because, well, I had stubborn pride at that time. Let's say around maybe 19 to 23, I had a lot of stubborn pride that welled up within me. And that wasn't the best thing that could have come through my mind, or that I could have put my mind to, but I did. And so I would suffer along. Instead of perhaps getting out of an issue and having that issue complete itself and in the positive to where I wouldn't have to be suffering anymore, my immaturity, my lack of understanding, my lack of wisdom, at that age, I didn't want to accept help. So you suffer just for the sake of suffering, because if you would accept the help that someone has to offer, whether it's an ear to listen to you so that the depression can start lifting and you don't feel so alone in the world, or whether it's monetary and somebody can, help you. Look what happened to me just 3 weeks ago. I got shortchanged my pay at work because it was a new job, and then they didn't want to pay me the holidays, so I ended up with only 3 days pay instead of 5. And I needed my brakes to be worked on. The calipers, they were stuck, and my car wheels were not turning. I need my car to work. So what would have happened if, instead of thinking of reaching out to one of my friends, I just went ahead and continued along the same vein of having so much pride swell up from within me that I was not able to reach out to her. I would probably right now still be wondering, what am I going to do? I would not have been able to go to work. I don't work in the same city that I live in. So again, we can shoot ourselves in the foot and cause ourselves to have a longer amount of suffering because of our pride. Not only was I able to fix the brakes and fix the calipers and have brand new brakes and a set of calipers on each side, but I was able to pay her back, in 2 days. And again, when we're going through it and we're so swelled up in pride and we don't want anybody to know because we're so embarrassed that we can't seem to handle our own, whatever, that we refuse to allow help in. So again, remember that when God sends somebody to help you, it's not so that they can tell you later, oh yeah, you remember when and I helped you? Yeah, I'm always helping you, etc. That's not what it's about. It's about helping the person out of their situation faster so that their life gets better faster. But sometimes we have to be wise enough to know when to accept the help, because otherwise all we're doing to ourselves is placing ourselves maybe in danger, maybe in harm's way, or in depression, stress, loneliness, because we just close up shop sometimes, right? Oh, I can't believe such and such, wanted to help me. How dare they want to help me? They don't know me, or they don't know my situation, or who do they think they are? Like their life is perfect. I mean, trust me, I've heard it all through the years when counseling people. I've heard it all the reasons why the people do not want to accept help. But they never say, thank you, God, that there was somebody to help me. I was so grateful. I was scared. I didn't want to ask my friend. I had never asked her for anything in the 18 years that I've known her. Never. And I had to ask her for help. So it can be scary because it can be awkward, and then to top it all off, they have the right to say no. And instead, she surprised and shocked me at what she told me and the reason that she was willing to help me. She made me feel like my work that I do for the general public, my spiritual work, was so much more valuable than I even realized or gave credit to. So you never know what's going to come out of the help. Even you don't understand that maybe you're going to be blessed even more so than you even ever thought by asking someone for assistance. I'm not here to guilt anybody into taking help. We're all grown people. But from time to time, I do know, because I've lived, this month will be my 60th year. I've lived 60 years. And out of the 60 years, I've been out on my own since I was 11. So just that alone ought to tell you that I'm more comfortable with fixing the issues that come and arise in my own life because I've been on my own for so long. But even those like myself that have been self-sufficient and taking care of business for themselves for many, many, many years, it doesn't mean that sometimes even we need help. Even we need help. Like I said, 3 days worth of pay, and it wasn't enough to pay for the whole bill. And if I would have had the money to pay for the whole bill and only have given them the partial amount, which was what I got paid, they would not have given me my car back. So, do you think that my urgency, my sense of urgency, do you think that it was more important for me to feel secure in my ego? Or do you think it was more important for me to be secure in my car and have a job? Stop and think about it. If I can't use the car to get to my job, I wouldn't have had a job anymore. And I would have had to get another job. So we always have to look at the bigger picture as to what is happening around us, and not just the small picture of I momentarily feel a discomfort because I'm shy and embarrassed. You never know the beautiful things that are going to come out of that help. You know that when I approached her, I literally thought it was just going to be a 50-50 chance and that I would have to be okay with her telling me, absolutely not. No, why should I help you? Right? We're not that close or something. She didn't say that. She literally said, well, of course I'm going to help you. You've been instrumental in my life. Your work, just with me alone, for me, for my life, has meant so much. You have no idea how priceless. Of course I will help you. So, again, we don't know what we're going to get from the person that's offering the help and ready to help us. We don't know how they're going to bless us. We don't know. All we know is the awkwardness we feel from being vulnerable enough to step out and say, hey, I need help. And again, whether that help is for money, whether that help is in your health, whether that help is I need a ride somewhere, whatever it is, or I just need you to listen. You know, I've often told people in the past, if you ever, that were my friends, if you ever just need me to listen to you and not give you an opinion, just tell me, hey, I really need to talk. I don't want advice. I just need you to listen. It's not always about money. Sometimes it's just having a person that's not going to prejudge you, a person that's just going to sit there and just listen to you. Because sometimes we need to purge. We need to get things off our chest. We need to get something stressful, vocalized, so it's not deeply seated in us and either becomes depression or so much stress that, people don't understand. I think they take lightly when I disclose to them that stress is a killer and it can give you a stroke. It can cause you a heart attack. And no, I'm not kidding. So if somebody offers you help, even if you feel a little bit of discomfort, but you know that you can trust them, all I'm trying to do today, this morning, is to just give you food for thought that maybe God put that earth angel in your life for a reason. Maybe God has a hand on that person helping you. I mean, look at me. I'm in New Hampshire. My friend is in Georgia. She's in Georgia. So even people that are not readily available right next to you, maybe they're going to Zoom, maybe they're going to phone call, whatever. What's up, you? I don't know. Whatever it is, however it is that they want to contact you. Or maybe, in some occasions, they'll get on a plane and come and see you so that they can help you. You don't ever turn away something positive, something good for you, something that could cause a miracle to occur, something that could cause you to feel sheltered, to feel like you belong or like you're important to someone. You're important enough for them to reach out to you and want to offer some kind of assistance so that you won't be suffering anymore. So that that suffering that you're going through, that situation, can be minimal. And so you won't have to live it long term. I just finished talking about the stress hormones that occur when people are in bad relationships, for example. But they don't only happen in bad relationships. If you're suffering long term through stress, unnecessary stress, those hormones are also excreting, like cortisol. Yeah, it's not good for your body to continuously be subjecting your body to these hormones all day, every day. So we've got to be good to our bodies, but we also have to be good to ourselves psychologically. I know that you understand what I'm trying to say. Anybody with half the amount of logic that I think you have is going to come to the same terms and going to say to themselves, yeah, if I ever need help, I think the best and wisest thing for me to do is accept the help. Because, again, what is the use of prolonging the suffering? What's the use of it? If somebody is readily available to help you to get out of the problem, accept the help, squash it fast, and get moving forward with your life. Because life can be good or life can be difficult. So which one are you going to choose? Right? You don't have a choice when life brings you lemons, as they say. And people say, well, just make lemonade. Okay. But you know what? Lemonade doesn't only take lemons. Lemonade takes water and the lemons, and then we need sugar to sweeten it. So the help is the sugar to sweeten the lemonade. Okay? Because I know myself, I'm not going to drink that lemonade without sugar. That's some bitter shit. So don't give yourself the bitter shit in life. Accept the help so that all of this can go smoother. You can get out of your problem faster. And of course, be good to the person that is offering you the help. Don't disregard them and don't take them for granted. But do take the help. Because when you do that, it shows a sign of humility, and it also shows a sign of wisdom, because you want to get through this faster, therefore squashing the issue before it becomes unmanageable, so big and unmanageable that it really does crush you with its weight. So I'm all about spreading things that I have learned in life and helping others to understand how common sense, logic, and wisdom works for your greater good. This is Victoria Violet, and I'm so grateful to you guys stopping by, listening to our little talk this morning about help and how God can send earth angels to you in order to assist you out of your dilemmas. May you always choose to err on the side of wisdom and not prejudging people and not swelling up with the wrong kind of pride and letting your ego control the situation. And may you always be blessed. Much love and light to you. Till we see each other again. Bye, guys.